heroes, welcome back to the 8th episode of Blazing Hour with Illumini. Let's reconnect. We are your MCs, Pakhi and Simi Ma'am, and our guest for today is Abhijeet Singh. After completing his schooling at Cambridge Court High School, Abhijit Bhaiya pursued automobile engineering at the SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. He has also done masters in management at ESCP Business School London. Currently working as an operations analyst in Wayfair, London, he holds great working experience working under numerous reputed companies like the Byjus. Apart from this, he's literally a polyglot with a great command over languages like Hindi, French, German, and English. Please welcome Abhijit Bhaiya, everyone. So, Bhaiya, after pursuing bachelor's in technology, what helped you opt for higher studies in management, and how were you able to decide what to study and from where?
First of all, I wanted to say hello and thank you for having me here. And to answer your question straight away, I started developing an essence for management like in early days itself. In school also, I was more into leadership roles, and I used to participate in a lot of competitions which required a lot of management related skills. These skills developed further when I was doing my bachelor's, and I was participating in various activities. And during these participations and events, I realized I have a sense and belonging for management. And that's when I got an offer from Byjus, which is a leading unicorn of India. It's one of the biggest edutech companies in the world right now. And that's when I started working in management related fields, basically business development. So that's how the journey started. And during that part, I realized I require more of theoretical knowledge because practical experience is good. But for gaining theoretical knowledge, you need to study and you need to develop yourself, and you need a great institution for that. That's when I started exploring my options, and I got to know about European business schools, which are providing A-grade education for long. And ESCP holds a premier place in that. It's one of the oldest business schools in the world, almost 200 years old. So that caught an eye. And I worked through the process. I gave GMAT, I gave IELTS, I gave like almost 2 to 3 interviews to get in. And here I am doing masters in management from ESCP.
That's so nice. Well, I think this is the perfect example how important it is to be self-aware. One gets to know what works best for them, and then there's no turning back.
Definitely, yes. That's the way forward.
Hi, Abhijit. How are you?
Hi, Simi ma'am. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, and it's really great to see you after a long time.
Yes, me too.
So successful, and it's really great to see our alumni at this point of life so successful. Abhijit, was studying BTech simpler than masters in management?
So to answer your question, I won't say BTech is simpler. It's still one of the hardest and one of the long-lasting courses, which lasts for 4 years. You are almost submitting like 700 assignments over the course of 4 years. So it's a grueling experience. It's definitely tough, but the way both of the studies are imparted are a bit different. So Indian education system differs from European education system a lot. And master's is something which comes after bachelor's. So, there is more practicality in the way it is imparted to the students. So there is a good ratio of theoretical knowledge, and you get time to impart that knowledge. So there are various, you can apply it through various internships and various in-company experiences during the course of your studies. So, and these internships are important in European education system. So I won't say master's is difficult. It's a different experience, different way of teaching, and different way of giving knowledge. But I think both have their own places.
Yeah, both are different, but they both have equal importance.
Definitely.
How was your experience at ESCP's Business School?
Till now, for me, ESCP Business School has been a vibrant journey. It has an intensive course for sure. I have been moving around various cities. I started with Paris, and then due to Corona, there were some difficulties. So I moved to Amsterdam in Netherlands. After that, I moved to another campus in Berlin. And after Berlin, I have came here in London. So I have almost lived in like almost 4 cities right now in Europe. And it has been a good intercultural experience, knowing all the cities and working with so many different people speaking different languages and different culture from different culture. So it was a very vibrant experience, colorful experience for me. If we talk about the education system, ESCP, as I told you, is one of the oldest business school in the world. So they have very strong values, and the way they teach you is very holistic, and they make sure that you go through your theoretical ways while going through your practical knowledge journey, and also while holding the school values and the life values which you need in.
Yeah, it's a dream of many people to study in this prestigious institution. That's really very knowledgeable.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what skills are required in your position on a day-to-day basis?
So to answer your question, currently I'm working as an operations analyst for Wayfair, which is an American multinational e-commerce company which deals in home decor. And as an operations analyst, there are two things which I work on. First is cost cutting, and secondly is also time management. Apart from that, as an analyst, I work a lot on numbers. I play with a lot of numbers. So it goes on with report generation and then analyzing those reports and then talking to various B2B suppliers and basically giving them solutions to the problems and also assessing their operations go smoothly without bottlenecks. And the second thing which I'm working right now is as a consultant. And as I told you, I'm going to start fresh and I'm going to work for one of the companies called Candisac, which is one of the big names in London for healthcare consulting. They basically do projects with NHS, which is National Health Services for UK. So in consulting, the skills differ a bit, but they overlap. So it's more about innovativeness. You should be innovative and you should be an avid problem solver. So whatever problem is there, your only work is to solve them and give solutions to the client. And the next is, I think, the relationship management. It's very important to build relations with the clients and with the companies, which are long lasting. And one thing which I wanted to add is impact. So we create impact on day-to-day basis. So you should have that psychology of creating an impact. So that's when you give your all.
Sounds really interesting. And the skills you talked about certainly make up most of the world today. And that is what everyone has to inculcate in them to be able to succeed. And you have become very good at multitasking, managing many things all together, which is also very important to be able to succeed. So it sounds that you're having a great time, like, learning a lot, growing. And we are happy to hear that. So, working as a consultant must have given you the opportunity to interact with different kinds of people. So, how do you manage to interact with so many people, and how has this been influencing your personality?
So, when we start talking to a lot of people from different industries as a consultant, you go through a process of talking and interacting with clients who are from FMCG, retail, medical sector. There are people from technology, even aerospace, automobile, and software development. So these are like very different fields altogether. But what you need to understand is the problem, what's the problem scenario, and have a holistic approach, because it's just not about the problem, it's also about the process or the picture as a whole, which is causing the problem. So we try to understand that too. So while we are interacting with clients, we make sure that we know their background, we know the company well, we know the client well, and we ask a lot of questions to understand what they really need. So it's very important to ask questions and to understand them. And while interacting, definitely you learn a lot from them, because there are people who are working for 20 years, 30 years, and even 40 years. There are founders, there are VPs, there are CEOs, CTOs. So these are the people with vast experience and industry knowledge. So while talking to them, definitely you learn a lot. And it's also a self-learning process, because when you're talking to them, you're preparing yourself also for the process. So it goes both ways. So you're gaining knowledge and you're also learning too.
I must say that's a brilliant perspective to look at things. We all say that dealing with people is not that easy, but like you said, if one adapts a holistic approach, the task gets interesting and even easier, right?
Yes, to put in words, I think that's perfect, Paki.
Abhijit, what are the three main qualities that a management professional needs to have?
Mom, to answer your question, management is a very vast field, and there are people who are doing different kind of jobs and works and with different portfolios. So actually it's a very wide question, and all of these activities require very precise qualities and different qualities. Sometimes they're overlapping. So but like, let's go to what I'm doing. So if I'm working as a consultant, the main qualities which you require, first of all, is you should be an avid thinker and innovative mind. So you have to be innovative with your approach. Your approach should be simpler, less time consuming, less resource consuming, and give better solutions to the client. Secondly, as I told, which I'll repeat again, is relationship management. So you should be good at building relations with your clients and with people and with companies. And it goes with life also. Like, you should be very good in relationship management because it goes long way. And in the end, what we are all stories. So the more relations you build, the more stories you get, and the more people know you. So that's how it works. So these are the two things which should be there. And third thing, I believe, which goes with all management fields, is time management is very important. So when you come to countries like Germany and UK, you understand time is a very important asset, and time is money. Basically, we heard this phrase, but it's very important. Time is really money. So if you are able to manage your time well, you can allocate your resources according to your priorities.
Yeah, that's very true. A person who is disciplined and manages time well will always succeed, and it is required. This is a very essential skill for life.
Yes, ma'am, for sure. It has helped me a lot, and I think it's going to help everyone who follows.
So, Bhaiya, now that we're talking about different work cultures here, how is your current work culture different from the companies in India, and how do you manage that cultural gap which falls in between?
Culturally speaking, Europe is very multicultural. And right now, since I'm working in like two companies, and also I work for my in-house consulting too. So there are almost 2-3 companies, and I'm jumping around. The thing is, I'm working with people from various nationalities. So there are people from Africa, there are people from America, and then South America. I'm just naming the continents. So like, we are covering all the continents almost, and there are people from like all over the world. So they have different kind of cultures, different kind of languages. And it's when we go through this kind of, vibrant experience, colorful experience, we get to know how the world is moving forward, or how the world is. Basically, you get to understand more about the world and about the customs and cultures of various kind of people. In India, it wasn't that multicultural, although we were having people. When I was working for Byjus, we were having people from various cities, but it wasn't multicultural in the sense because most of them were Indians. But yeah, it is multicultural for an Indian sense, but I won't say internationally it is. So if you're coming here, you're a global citizen. Basically, you represent not your country, you're representing the world, because there are no divisions based on country. It's you and the world.
That means learning never stops, right? The process of learning different work cultures is prominent in all the fields in all the countries. And I think that is what helps you grow. That is what keeps you at the pace with the world, so that you don't miss out on something or you don't feel outdated in yourself.
No, definitely yes. And yeah, that's how it works actually. And to add on to one point, Paki, like, strictly speaking, if we talk about just the work culture rather than the culture in the company, the timings are not stringent here. It's more task oriented, in the sense like you have to be efficient with your task. So it's not like, that the employer will make you sit from 9 to 6 or 9 to 7. It's not about that. It's about your efficiency. So I get more time to, pursue my hobbies or other activities which I want to do. So in that way, it is more free and it is more open. And secondly, like there is a flat hierarchy. So it's not hierarchical in the sense like it's you and your ideas matter and the way you can make impact and you can take responsibilities. So it's not about your position, it's about your innovativeness and how you present yourself to the companies. So I think that kind of thing has to still come in India, because it's still that strict 9 to 6 jobs you are doing 5 to 6 times a week, and it keeps going on.
Yes.
So yeah,
I think this is what we need to learn right now, and that will come with time gradually. So, this was all about your work culture, your work experience, how this experience has been so far, how life has been to you so far. But coming back to school, what is that you miss the most from your school time? And what are the best things that you learned in the school which you believe are still helping you grow?
school was a beautiful experience for me, and I miss school a lot, to be honest. And I think it was one of the best schools at that time, and still it is. So like I used to love the balance between studies and sports at that time a lot. And I was like a avid reader and avid thinker. I used to participate in all competitions, like any competition which was being organized in school, I was the first one to give my name. So it helps me to develop skills on various platforms actually. So I'm going for extemporaries, I'm going for debates, I'm going for volleyball, I'm going for kho. I'm doing everything which is present there. But I think that was very important for me to know and understand what I love and what I want to go forward with. So that kind of platform which was provided by school, which has all these kind of activities, apart from, of course, the education, which is one of the best, because the teachers were really good, and they were really personal in the approach to a particular student. So they knew me well, not because I'm performing well. They knew everyone who was studying in the class. They know what are their what are the things they're good and what are their weaknesses in. So they're working on your weaknesses, they're working on your strengths. So I think overall it was a very personalized experience for me. And that's what I love about Cambridge Code. They give you a personalized experience. They know you well, they know your weaknesses, they're going to help you work on your weaknesses and build on your strengths. So one thing I wanted to add, one thing more, is there's a culture in India about just working on weaknesses. So when you're working on weaknesses, you forget your strengths. You just allocate your time on weaknesses only. But with in Cambridge Code, I feel it's about building on your strengths too. So that makes you go much higher than you anticipate.
I would totally agree. And I think the line you said, that working on strengths is what, that matters the most. And being a Cambridgean, we get so groomed by the time we reach our senior grades that, this process is really, really beautiful, turning into a completely different personality by the time we, start feeling seniors. And I think this is a journey filled with beautiful experiences, which we all will cherish our entire life, like you said.
Yes, once you pass out, I hope you will remember everything.
Yes, certainly, certainly.
Abhijit, is there something you want to advise the students of school? Being an alumni, would you like to share your experience or mistakes with the children so that they do not repeat the same?
Yes, ma'am. To answer your question, one thing I wanted to emphasize is on career choices. So during 10th and 11th and 12th, you're going through the process of transformation where you start, choosing your branches, whether you want to go to science, you want to go to commerce, you want to go to arts, or like whichever branch you want to go forward with. So at that time, it is a dilemmatic time for students and for their parents. And I think at that time, right now, what the thing is going on, like people are getting more strict with their choices. And those, what you have to understand is you have to take reference when you're making the choices. Advisory is very important when you're making a choice, because at that particular age, you're still not ripe enough. You have to go through various experiences. There are people, there are teachers, there are your parents who have gone through a long journey of life. They have lived like 30, 40 years. They have good experience. They know things well, so they can advise you well. So you should be open to advices, and advisory is in which I'm working and people are paying me for that. So advice is important. And if you're getting it for free, consider yourself as privileged. So you have to take reference from them. You have to understand that they know things well because they have experience in it. Secondly, don't be very strict with what you want to pursue. You should measure the pros and cons of your choices. So there are times when you're good at things, but you're not best. You should look at the ways if you can make it work, if you can make yourself stronger, or you can become best. If you think that there are chances you can't, you should look for other options too, because life is a long journey. It's not 5-10 years. You have to live 30-40 years with your choices. So it's very important you make good choices. And for the students, it's important to listen to your teachers, your parents, and the people especially who are advising you. Listen to them, keep yourself composed, and then make your decisions.
That was a wonderful advice from your side, because it is very much required. The students should have faith in their teachers and their parents, and they should understand that whatever they are being guided is good for them. So that's all from my side, Abhijit. It was really great talking to you, and best of luck for your future.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
We do have some Cambridgians who are super excited and they have their own questions to ask. So let's have them. We have Yashwardhan Sharma.
Greetings, Bhaiya.
Hello, Yash.
Hi. So my question to you is, I wanted to ask that do you think is it essential for us to be a bookworm in order to be successful, or like it's just the urge to become something that lets you drive through?
I think it's a very good question. So for me personally, I was never a bookworm, and I never was, and I'm not still, because that what I believe is in that urge. Yes, definitely you should have that hunger. You should have that hunger to achieve things. That's what makes that's what makes you go for it, basically. So you can keep reading all the books you want, and you can gain the knowledge, but the way you are utilizing that knowledge depends on you, first of all. Secondly, books might give you knowledge, but they won't give you the dedication. They won't give you the dedication to imply that knowledge. So a target mindset is very important. You should know what you are aiming for, and it helps you to gather the resources to reach the target. So whether you're using books, you're not using books, whether you're going through videos, whether you're going through practical education, there can be various kind of educations and various kind of methodologies to reach the target, but it's important to reach the target. So I think that hunger is more important than being a bookworm. But again, everything goes hand in hand. Books are important resources. You should utilize them properly, but over-reliance on anything can be harmful. So keep your options open and invest in all the resources which helps you to reach a target.
And I do totally agree with you, like having a goal-oriented mindset, right? That's what you implied. And part of reason why I wanted to ask, because you being a person who is pursuing management, and there is so much literature and theoretical knowledge and so many jargons and principles to learn. So that's why I wanted to ask. And I did get the answer I wanted. So thank you. That would be all my side. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yashwardhan. Abhijit Bhaiya, thank you so much for joining us today and enlightening us with all the experiences you have gained over the years. It was indeed a pleasure to have you here, and we wish you luck in all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paki. You have been a bright sport. And thank you for everyone for having me here. And I wanted to thank Cambridge Court High School for everything they've done for me. It has been a beautiful experience, and I wish you guys all the best for the future. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Same to you. This was it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We hope you had a great time watching this interview. We would be back with another thrilling episode of Blazing Hour with Illumini very soon. Till then, keep smiling and keep grinding because life is what you make out of it. Thank you.
Thank you.